Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is RemovableSanity and today I'm reviewing Ghostrunner 2 on the Series X, developed by One More Level and published by 505 Games. So what is Ghostrunner 2? Ghostrunner 2 is a hardcore FPP slasher set in a post-apocalyptic cyberpunk future. Become the ultimate cyber ninja and prepare for epic boss fights, improved skills, an interactive story, new game modes and captivating synth-wave soundtracks. The premise is you take control of Jake from the first installment, who's back to deal with the violent AI cult that has assembled outside Dharma Tower, and once again shape the future of humanity. The game boasts new skills, new challenges, new enemies and a new progression system, which has been completely redone, providing opportunities to experiment and customize your gameplay. First up is accessibility. Now, with regards to accessibility, there's very little in the way of options. Even the subtitles only have the option to be turned off or on. Because of this, should you have any disability, especially those with motor function issues, this would be a game you could not play. Next is gameplay. I never played the original, as most of my time was spent reviewing other indie games. However, at an earlier event in the year called WASD, I was one of the first to try out the sequel's demo. From that moment I was hooked and intrigued to see what the game was offering. For those that don't know what Ghostrunner is, the best way to describe this is a blend of Mirror's Edge and cyberpunk with brutal killing sequences smushed all the way through. You take control of Jake from the first game, a cybernetically enhanced ninja who, after killing the previous villain, is woken to find that other hidden cyber ninjas known as Ghostrunners have appeared after some hibernation and are now wanting to take over. The gameplay loop is much like its original from what I can tell, with its running along walls, dashing through air vents, gliding past enemies, all while slashing them to pieces with your trusty katana. Now this may sound easy, however there is a catch, and it's the biggest one. You will die from a single hit, and die you will, multiple times, as you try to work your way around using the environments and skills available to you at that given time. Thankfully, when you die, you start again in the same area where you failed. To ensure this doesn't become a nuisance, you are given a vast arsenal of skills to combat what can seem from the beginning as a hugely difficult task. You see, the game is all about precision of your tactical movement stroke skill usage. For example, you have a dash ability which is invaluable for getting out of the ways of enemies' attacks and countering them in order to finish them. Now, if you hold the dash button whilst in the air, time will also slow to a crawl and you'll be able to dodge out of the way even further of any incoming danger, like bullets and energy beams. You can block attacks, but blocking only allows you to stop a few hits before your guard is broken. Because of this, you are then enticed to try parrying instead for an instant kill, or perfect your blocks, which deflect bullets back at your enemies. To ensure this mechanic cannot be spammed, this is restricted with a limited stamina bar, which both dash and block utilise, meaning depending on the attack, careful choice of your actions is required. The stamina bar will replenish with time, and as you progress further into the game, skills can help buff this further. Secondary skills are later added, like Shuriken, Tempest and Shadow. Shuriken are your quick ranged attack, Tempest is a force push, and Shadow allows you to create a duplicate of yourself and go invisible. Ultimate abilities are also given as you progress, like the ability to shoot a laser out of your hand, or my favourite, an ability to hack an enemy and they become a friend attacking your enemies, for a short period of course. Much like all the abilities though, these have a limited usage and will take time to regenerate, with some only doing so as you kill enemies. This is where the new perk tree comes into play, which you can access them from your home base after every level at a vendor station. Perks are purchasing by earning XP, which is acquired from defeating enemies, clearing missions and playing the various challenges dotted throughout each level. Once purchased, these can be added to your motherboard's empty nodes to suit your particular playstyle. The perks themselves often buffer specific skills' damage and cooldown rates, but there are others which dramatically change things. For instance, some can increase your stamina, give you secondary damage effects, and even unlock new tiers for your ultimate attacks. The motherboard is limited with its number of slots at first, but as you find more purple chips hidden within the levels or by completing level-based challenges, you start to really open up your options. This pushes the player to really explore the environments in a bid to increase your capacity to hold multiple upgrades at once. Alongside the purple chips to be found are also physical collectibles, which can be shown off at your home base, plus a variety of character, bike and katana skins, which can be turned on at any time. The game's controls are super responsive and intuitive, ensuring the movement stroke skill usage remain precise and functional. Failing on this game intuitively feels more an issue with the player's skill rather than the game's mechanics. And once you have clicked with its control system, you will too feel satisfied as you smoothly glide across beams, run across a wall, grapple over huge chasms, all while being attacked in a variety of ways. Breaking up the continuous bombardment of attacks are level-based challenges which I mentioned earlier. In some areas there is a terminal which you can engage with to activate timed challenges that task you with clearing the area of enemies, using a specific skill well, or running through checkpoints. Rewards are often XP for bronze and purple chips for silver and gold. You don't have to play this straight away, but this adds to the replayability of the game in the long run after you've completed it. One of the more unique inclusions in Ghostrunner 2 is a mini roguelike game called Ghostrunner.exe that can be booted up at your base HQ or through the main menu, unlocked halfway through the game. This itself tasks you with completing arenas and progressing to the final zone, with random skills and abilities being unlocked the further you progress. An enjoyable side content that could have easily been segregated as paid DLC, which I'm thankful they did not do. Next up is graphics. When it comes to the graphics of the game, the visuals are superb and showcase off the neon cyberpunk aesthetics beautifully. Even in the most darkest of areas like the cyber void, they are stunningly lit and visually pleasing as you traverse your way through them. That often makes you want to stop and admire. The levels are huge and a nice blend of gauntlet style zones spliced with fast flowing platforming sections that gain more intricacy the more you progress. It's not all combat zones though, as the developers have also added in bike sections. Once you have your escape from Dharma City, you venture into the desolate wasteland surrounding the huge city tower. These action-packed sequences are about traversing lots of roads using jumps at high speeds, mixed with little hub areas to reopen paths to progress. The bike gameplay stuck out for me and was one of the better experiences as you fly past gritty post-apocalyptic highways whilst jumping through tiny gaps in closing doors. Boss fights are equally fast and relentless, and with a huge push on pattern recognition within a stunning vista. However, pattern recognition will only get you so far, and it's your own precision that will win the day. But I will say that having some perks that are able to block energy attacks or being quicker with your dodges do make a huge difference. And being they can switch out at any time, don't be afraid to do so. Thankfully, like the main game, even when you do die, there are checkpoints at varied levels of bosses' health, ensuring that you don't have to go back to scratch when fighting them. And finally, sound. When it comes to the soundtrack, the game's music is top-notch, with its explosive beats combining perfectly with the action on screen. It's a combination of heavy rock and new age synth-wave, which just oozes futuristic intent regardless of the area you're in. Voice acting is also in the game and is very serviceable in its telling of the story and narrative choices when in your HQ. Whilst dialogue options are minimal, it does help flesh out these characters in a bit more depth, whilst giving you a much needed respite from your death-dealing parkour.
It's not safe for the master. Let's go.
Hey, you! Lay down your weapons, now!
A number. Let me...
Weapons, explosions and general AI sounds are perfect in their punchy delivery, and are great at alerting you when shots are fired from a distance. My recommendation here is a good quality soundbar that will give you the bass and oomph of that new heavy age synthwave mixed in with heavy rock. And this leads me on to the rating of the game. Now I rate games in order of avoid, on sale, great purchase and must own. My rating for Ghostrunner 2 is a must own. You don't have to be familiar with the original to find this game enjoyable and engaging. For me, this is the definitive parkour action game currently on offer right now, that you will find addictive till the credits roll and beyond. The game is currently priced on Xbox at £34.99 or approximately $40, and depending on your skill and patience would give you about 20 plus hours worth of gameplay. Due to the number of unlockable skills, weapons and costumes, and a separate game Rogue Runner mode, this could add another 10 plus hours. Strangely enough, this is probably one of my recommendations for Game of the Year, as its addictive combat stroke traversal loop keeps me wanting to play one more level. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I do hope you like this review, and if you do, please like, share and subscribe if you so wish. And if you would like to put some notes or even just a comment in the comment section, I do like reading them. Anyway, have a great time gaming, and I'll see you all again soon.